Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a somber episode of Help for the Guildless. My name, of course, is Antwon, and what makes this episode so dark and dreary? Well, I happen to be privileged enough to watch a career die on stage, where you could actually pinpoint the exact time that this person no longer was relevant. I'm of course talking about Amy Schumer, because I took time out of my life to watch the Leather Special, and let me tell you, I wish it was still daylight savings time, so I could get back the hour of my life that I spent watching this abomination. Now, I went into this wanting to laugh. I went into this with an open mind, and as a fan, and I thought that people were just being hyperbolic, over-exaggerating on how bad it really was. Amy Schumer was talented. Was I wrong? This comedy special, and I use the term comedy as lightly as I possibly can to encapsulate what this special was abysmal. I watched as Amy Schumer lost her audience, not once, but multiple times. The first time happened 10 minutes in. Now, to her credit, she was able to get the audience back, and they started paying attention. But the entire special was one long, dirty joke. And not even a funny, dirty joke. Now, Amy Schumer crossed a line. And before I get too far into what I mean by that, I need to explain a couple of things. I am the type of person that believes that no subject matter is off limits in comedy. AIDS, cancer, death, dead babies, rape, assault, all of it is not off limits. It's fair game. And I understand what the term blue means. For those of you that don't, a blue comedian means that their subject matter tends to be a little raunchy, a little risque, going so far as to saying it's downright filthy. So with that out of the way, when I say Amy Schumer crossed a line, I don't mean she crossed a line on the subject matter that she talked about. I am talking about she crossed a line between joke-telling and being vulgar for vulgarity's sake. Now, I understand that there is shock jocks out there talking on the radio trying to get people to tune in to hear what they possibly could say next. And that's all fine and dandy for them. They have hours upon hours of content that they do have to fill. Amy Schumer has you for an hour, and she crossed that line. She went from being funny to just being raunchy, for no apparent reason other than being raunchy. Now, I have seen Amy Schumer's other comedy specials, and I know there's controversy abound talking about how Amy Schumer steals jokes. The way that I look at it is there's no jokes that have not been told a certain way. There's no real new material out there unless you're talking about your own life. But I don't remember Amy Schumer doing strange poses or voices. But there is an up-and-coming female comedian out there that does. And the same mannerisms that Amy Schumer were using, well, Eliza Schlesinger has been doing and does better. Both comedians are rather blue. But if you want a really good time, I suggest you look up Eliza Schlesinger war paint. if you are not having trouble breathing during that comedy special from laughing so hard, I'm sorry to tell you, your sense of humor has died. Now, I cannot believe this special. I almost couldn't do it. I checked the time multiple times of how much longer I had to sit through this. And I almost quit about 15 minutes in, saying, fuck it, I don't need this, but I figured I'd give her a shot. Maybe, just fucking maybe, she would grab me and make me listen and make me laugh. She did not, except for one small part, which I did actually laugh, and I even said, no, that's funny. And it wasn't anything too bad. I think she wasn't necessarily setting the joke up, but it was a smaller portion of a joke for a bigger joke. And she was talking about how the type of birth control she uses is a Nuva ring, and it's something that wraps around the cervix of a woman's hoo-ha. And she doesn't like having sex with it in. So before she was going to have sex with her now and current boyfriend, she decided she was going to take it out. And as she was reaching in to take it out, she actually accidentally went knuckle deep into her own butt. And the way that she told it made me laugh, and I laughed for a little bit. It wasn't a big laugh, but it was a laugh. And I thought, okay, this is the start of something redeeming. No, it just got worse. More vulgarity on top of other vulgarity, and then she stops dead in the middle of her set to talk about gun control. And she tries to talk about gun control in a funny political way. If there is one thing Amy Schumer is not, it is a political comedian. There are many out there, she's not one of them. And she loses the audience, and after she talks about this, she cannot get the audience back. It's impossible. She's lost them. And this is where we are, people. Now, I didn't want to do a review of her entire comedy special, but I did need to talk about it because of just how crass and bad it actually was. Now, when I went onto Netflix to watch this, I was expecting, when I looked it up, to find, well, what everyone's saying is it's got 1 star. This was not the case. When I went to look at it on Netflix, it had 4 stars. So I don't know if it's not updated. I don't know what the situation with that is. Now, I do understand people are reviewing it as 1 star and giving it some horrendous reviews. Now, instead of taking that in stride and kind of looking at it as, my fans are not happy with what I did, she's blamed other people. She went on to her Instagram and decided to tell everyone the real cause of her having a 1 star special, because the leather special is absolutely amazing. It's not, but she went on a small little rant, and I'm going to read it for you now. I'll read the whole thing, it's not too long, and then I will comment on it. And then we will carry on with our own little Amy Schumer special to talk about a couple other things. So she starts off with, I am so proud of my special and grateful to all the people spreading love online about it. I am the first female comic who is selling out arenas all over the world, and so grateful for that. I am embarrassed for the journalists who report on trolls' activities as if it's news. It's indicative of administration right now. Anyone who reported that viewers aren't happy with my special, it would have been cool if you did a moment of research before posting. The alt-right organized trolls attack everything I do. Read the Splitsider article. They organized to get my ratings down, meeting in subreddit rooms. They tried on my book and movies and TV show, and I want to thank them. It makes me feel so powerful and dangerous and brave. It reminds me what I'm saying is effective and bring more interest to my work, and their obsession with me keeps me going. I'm only alarmed by the people printing their organized trolling as news. This is what the current administration wants. So this post has nothing against the trolls. I thank you, trolls, so much. It fills me with hope and power to see you all furiously posting so as always accuse me of whatever lies you want. Call me a whale, call me a thief, and I will continue to rise and fight and lead. I know who I am strong and beautiful, and will use my voice my whole time on this earth. Journalists do better, it's embarrassing. Trolls, see you on the next one. She mentions the administration twice, and of course she's talking about Trump. So, the alt-right is now effectively being wielded as a weapon towards Amy Schumer by Donald Trump? Sure, let's jump on the Donald Trump hate train once again. All aboard! All aboard! Donald Trump hate train with one stop! Donald Trump hate train, all aboard! Last stop in He Is Not My President station. Are you fucking kidding me? And as for the fact that it's an alt-right troll attack, listen, Amy, you're not that important. Yes, I'm talking about you. I understand the irony of it. I'm talking about you because it's something interesting to talk about. But I haven't rated your Netflix special. And I'm giving you my honest review as someone who was a fan of you, who found you through a small comedy station here in Southern California called Comedy 1440 AM, which is no longer around, unfortunately. I was able to hear different comedians' small bits and learn, and then go look them up. And that's how I found you. And I enjoyed listening to your little bits on the radio when I was doing my work. So I went and looked and seen, sure enough, you had a couple specials. So I watched them and I laughed and I enjoyed them. This one, coming from a fan, was horrible. But it wasn't an organized attack by alt-right trolls. You can't keep using them as boogeymen. People who disagree with me, well, that's the alt-right. They don't like me. The trolls are set to attack anything I ever do. It may not have anything to do with the fact that what they're saying possibly could be true, or the fact that fans of mine are saying the exact same thing. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's just trolls. But it's not. Here, this is from a commenter on her Instagram. It says, in my opinion, was it her best work? No, it was a bit painful to watch, but some of these hateful bullying comments seem excessive for someone you don't even know. There are more mature and mannerful ways to show your displeasure of someone's work. That's a perfect example. The person is basically saying, look, this was horrible, but don't be a dick about it. I agree with that. The fact that it was painful to watch is an understatement. If you want to have one of those don't cringe challenges, I guarantee you put this on the screen and everyone will lose within the first 10 minutes of the don't cringe challenge. My back hurt for how much I cringed at this comedy special. And there has been backlash. The little bit more we're going to talk about Amy Schumer has to do with Barbie. She's no longer going to be playing Barbie. And she says it's because of scheduling conflicts. She wants to spend more time promoting her career. She wants to focus on her television show. Except I think it's getting cancelled. She wants to focus on her tour. She wants to focus on her political career with her brother. All of this stuff has scheduling conflicts with the Barbie movie. But on the other side, you're hearing, well, from the production company that there's not only scheduling conflicts, but there's script problems and directorial problems and things like that. Or we could just take the obvious and say possibly that Mattel does not want one of their best-selling products attached to someone like Amy Schumer, who has one of the dirtiest, filthiest mouths in the comedy circuit. And you know what? I have no problem with her talking about her sexual conquests. I have no problem with her being slutty. I'm not slut-shaming her. She's empowered and take charge of her own sexuality, and good for her. She's proud of her body. She loves who she is. Perfect. Unfortunately, that may not be what Mattel wants Barbie to be attached to. So, yes, there was a little backlash for that. But, saving grace for us, yes? We don't have to imagine what Amy Schumer as Barbie will look like, or act like, or sound like. Now, I know what you're saying. Antwon, you're being too hard on her. It's just because she's a liberal that you are tearing her apart. Maybe her comedy special really was that funny. Again, I say no, it wasn't. And proof positive that I look at comedy as a whole. If you can make me laugh, it doesn't matter what your political ideologies are. You make me laugh, I will be a fan, and here's perfect proof. Eliza Schlesinger, who I mentioned before, her latest comedy special had more than a few politically, ideologically driven jokes, but it was still funny, and I still am a fan, and I will watch every single thing she does until she lets her ideology interfere with her ability to tell jokes. You know, the career she has chosen. Watch her specials. Another leftist comedian, Bill Maher, who happens to be a rant comic, a political rant comic. Now, I know everyone just looks at him and goes, no, he has a television show, he's not necessarily a comic anymore. No, he's still a comic. And in his comedy act actually still holds up today for the fact of how he talks about politics. And he's hilarious. Same thing with Dennis Miller. Dennis Miller is definitely a rant comic, and he goes off on tangents, and he goes off on political aspects, and for you to understand what he is joking about, you have to be up on political commentary. And I still listen to him, and I think he's funny. And yes, I know that's two men to one woman here. Here's another one. Kathleen Madigan. Kathleen Madigan is extremely hilarious, and she is good friends with Lewis Black. That should tell you something. And if you don't want any political aspects in your comedy, he is very much on the left of the political spectrum. I follow him on Twitter. His name is Christopher Titus. Christopher Titus is hilarious, and when you watch his stuff, not only do you not get the political ideology shoved down your throat, you get to see him bare his soul and make you laugh. You want another good comedy special to watch? Christopher Titus, Norman Rockwell is Bleeding. That's your homework, folks. Listen and watch Eliza Schlesinger, Warpaint, and Christopher Titus, Norman Rockwell is Bleeding. Now, those are just a few examples of comedians that do their job better than she does in this aspect. Now, Amy, I want to talk to you as a fan, or had Cole tag you on Twitter that this review was coming. I'm a fan of yours. I have been for a while, so this is coming from a fan. Stop. What you are doing is you are letting your ideological views get very far ingrained into your comedy, and your brand of comedy does not mix well with what you want to do. Stick with being funny. Don't cross that line of being vulgar just for vulgarity's sake. you need to stop and look at what is being said. I know it's easy to say it's just alt-right trolls, everyone around me loves what I do. If that's the case, take into consideration the ones that love what you do and how many of them you pay. Because your fans are telling you, under no certain circumstances, we did not enjoy your last special. We hated it. Go back to being who you were. You've already pushed the envelope. Now, you're shitting on the envelope. And that's all I really have to say. I would love to know what you have to say. So let me know in the comments. Do you think I'm wrong? I'm not telling you I watched this so you don't have to. By all means, watch it and judge it for yourself. And then tell me if I'm wrong. If you found it uproariously funny, please let me know. And if you like what I do here, please like, share and subscribe to this podcast. And if you want to be up to date on everything that happens on this channel, go ahead and click that little bell icon and you'll be part of the people that know what's going on. Thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Help for the Guildless. My name again is Antwon. You can follow me on Facebook, on the Facebook page. You can also follow Cole on Twitch, Twitter and Tumblr. As I've heard, he has something coming up this week. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you, and have a wonderful evening.